Well, hello everyone. Leaked email from Hunter Biden connecting an executive from the Ukrainian gas company Burisma to Joe Biden. So this is the big story of the morning. And oh, by the way, there's also some pictures of Hunter Biden. You saw one of those at the top here with him smoking a cigarette, but there is a better one yet to come. So I want to jump right into this. So by the way, Dave here from Informed American. I know many of you have probably heard about Hunter Biden over the last few months. So I'd love to get your thoughts on this as we go through. We've got basically a bombshell story today from the New York Post. Now, apparently what happened was, and we'll get to this, there was a laptop that somebody had, dropped it off to a repair shop, as wild as the story is, dropped it off to a repair shop containing all of the materials that I'm going to run through. And of course, you can check this out. Certainly go to the New York Post and read the entire thing. I would encourage you to all do that. So somebody leaves a laptop at a repair shop. The repair shop tries to contact the person who dropped it off. No one will pick it up. And he notifies the FBI after looking at some of the contents, apparently. And the FBI seized the laptop, and here are all the materials. They were leaked to the New York Post. This is absolutely wild, everybody. Here we are. This is the front page of the New York Post. Revealed, Ukrainian exec thanked Hunter Biden for opportunity to meet Veep dad. Biden's secret emails. And the smoking gun, as they're calling it. And here's the thing. So Hunter Biden introduced his father, then Vice President Joe Biden, to a top executive at Ukrainian energy firm less than a year before. The elder Biden pressured government officials in Ukraine into firing a prosecutor who was investigating the company, according to emails obtained by the Post. And we all remember this, I think, right? There's that clip of Joe Biden. He's sitting at some event and a panel on a stage saying how he told Burisma to fire the guy, otherwise he was going to withhold $1 billion from aid from Ukraine. So that was, the question is, was that appropriate or not? And one side of the story is that this guy, Viktor Shotkin, I believe is his name, was going to investigate the company, a company by which Hunter Biden sat on the board. And then the other story is, well, this guy was corrupt, so we had to get rid of him. Well, I don't know. Who do you believe? And back here, a never-before-revealed meeting is mentioned in a message of appreciation that Vadim Pozharsky, hopefully I got that right, an advisor to the board of Burisma, allegedly sent Hunter Biden on April 17th, 2015, about a year after Hunter joined the Burisma board at a reported salary of $50,000 per month. $50,000 per month is what Hunter Biden's salary was. A lot of people don't earn that much in a year. And yet, if you're the son of the vice president, you get put up on a nice board at a Ukrainian gas company to which Hunter Biden has no expertise in. It wasn't as if he has some degree in anything relating to that. It's not as though he had any extensive work experience about natural gas or how to run a natural gas company or how to advise a natural gas company of their operations. And yet he gets a $50,000 a month salary. I mean, goodness gracious. So while he's doing that, he's collecting all this cash. And by the way, Joe Biden, as he mentioned, of course, in that famous video about firing the prosecutor, Viktor Shotkin, Joe Biden was in charge of Ukrainian policy and sends his son to sit on the board of the biggest natural gas company in Ukraine. And in fact, the Ukrainian economy is not great. And one of the things that does work is their natural gas. That's one of the big economic engines that they have. So you install your son there in the board, and he earns a cool $50,000 a month. So, by the way, as we go through here, as we're going to get to the email here in a second. Now, this blockbuster correspondence, which flies in the face of Joe Biden's claim that he never spoke to my son about his overseas business dealings, and there's this link here. There's a picture of Joe Biden and Hunter with Devon Archer, who was Joe Biden's friend, who was also, by the way, This Devin Archer, judge revives conviction of Hunter Biden's ex-business partner. So this guy sentenced on securities fraud and conspiracy charges. But here's the full quote from Joe Biden. Right here, I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings, Biden said before pivoting President Trump. I know Trump deserves to be investigated. He's blah, 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 Trump. So he did. We don't even have to read this nonsense. Biden denied that he ever spoke to his son about this. And then here is the email. This is from the Ukrainian businessman, apparently number 3 at Burisma. Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It's really an honor and pleasure. As we spoke yesterday evening, would be great to meet for some quick coffee. What do you think? I think come to your office around noon or so, or before my way to the airport. So there you go. Now, and then this gets into the story here of how this, how we got this thing. It was a laptop dropped off at a repair shop in Delaware. A little funny there, right? I mean, it seems, I almost wonder, if it was if this was all just a mistake. It dropped off into into Biden's home state of Delaware. I mean, try to think of the motivation here of who would drop off this laptop. Who was it? Is there security cam footage of the person who dropped it off? I'd like to know. What was the motivation here? Was it someone trying to, if you're trying to get this thing out, would you bring it to Delaware? Was it completely accidental? Did someone just happen to find a laptop? I don't know. Or were they trying to give dirty information back to Biden so that it would never see the light of day? Maybe they didn't understand. Maybe the guy whoever dropped it off told him to wipe the computer. I don't know. But the computer repairman contacted the FBI. I don't know if anybody expected that. And now we have these emails. Back to the story. How about this? Other material extracted from the computer includes a raunchy 12-minute video that appears to show Hunter, who's admitted to struggling with addiction problems, smoking crack while engaged in a sex act with an unidentified woman, as well as numerous other sexually explicit images. And we don't have any sexually explicit images to share with you, but there is a good one coming as we go through here. Back to it. Yeah, so on the deal here, the shop owner couldn't say who it was, if it was Biden or not. They don't know they just dropped off a water-damaged MacBook Pro and never claimed it. And so it ended up here. Now, by the way, if you don't know about Hunter Biden, the guy is a screw-up. He's an absolute screw-up. He was kicked out of the military for failing a drug test. He's had a hard time. He's had a hard way about it, struggling with addiction. Of course, he gets, and it seems like it was enabled in a lot of ways. I mean, he's given all these posts that he doesn't deserve, has cash thrown at him. There was a thing about the $3.5 million from a Russian mayor. I mean, there's that whole thing that came from the Senate Intelligence Committee. This guy has cash thrown at him. He keeps failing and he keeps getting promoted to something or keeps giving cash. Why? Because his dad is Joe Biden. And by the way, we're not just talking about drug addiction, because that's a serious thing and many people struggle with it. It's not necessarily to impugn someone's character, but Hunter Biden also did this. Joe Biden's older son, Beau, died of brain cancer. And after he passed, Hunter Biden, who was at the time still married and separated from his wife, I believe, but still married, went and had a relationship with his dead brother's widow. I mean, Hunter Biden... I mean, there's comforting a grieving widow, and then there's this. That's about as low as it gets, isn't it, guys? I mean, sleeping with your dead brother's wife. I mean, does it get worse than that? I don't know. And then back to the Washington Post story. I really love to know what you think about it. Did you know that Hunter Biden slept with Beau Biden's late Beau Biden's wife, widowed wife? What do you think of this leaked emails? Do you think is this enough? Really, the question is anything legally going to come of this? No, we know that. We know the answer to that. The question is, will it impact voters? And there's more here. This is the order from the Department of Justice or the FBI. Basically the same thing. To get access to this laptop, they seized it. It's been out there for a while. And actually, Rudy Giuliani is involved here. The shop owner, look at this. The shop owner says he made a copy of the hard drive and gave it to the former Mayor Giuliani's lawyer, Robert Costello. So I guess we know where the leak came from. That's pretty much solved. And then, so here's something about Steve Bannon saying he knew about it. And then there we go. So there's more here. Yeah, and this is the issue here with about Joe Biden bragging about getting the prosecutor fired. Says, well, if you don't fire him, you're not getting any aid. I mean, is that extortion? I don't know. Or some sort of abuse of power, maybe. And then there's more here about Devin Archer, who we just highlighted before, who was indicted for fraud and securities charges. Basically, Hunter Biden's best friend, and it continues. And we don't need to go through all of this. But of course, you know, they're all connected here. Somehow there's a connection. And for whatever reason, Hunter Biden has been escaping. And maybe that time is ending. Now, here's some pictures here of the family. There's a picture of Devin Archer. And then here is Hunter. Let's go through here. We saw this one. And I guess this is pictures from either just screenshots or pictures from, or I'm sorry, either pictures or screenshots from whatever that salacious video, the 12-minute video. Here's another one of him sleeping there with a cigarette. But here, the granddaddy of them all, Hunter Biden, asleep with appears to be a crack pipe. I mean, there it is, guys. Just having a little bit of a nap with my crack pipe. I fell asleep. And here's another one here. Here's another quote from Joe Biden. I mean, it's just deny. Last December, Joe Biden lashed out during a Democratic Party town hall event in Iowa. A man accused him of sending Hunter to Ukraine to, quote, get a job and work for a gas company. He had no experience with gas or nothing in order to get access to the president. And Biden's response, you're a damn liar, man. That's not true, and no one has ever said that. Well, everyone's been saying it. Everybody knows it, Joe. Your son, you were in charge. You were the point man in Ukraine, Vice President Biden, and you sent your son to Ukraine, and he got appointed to a board of the biggest gas company in Ukraine, earning $50,000 a month for no other reason than to connect, to use that influence, that connection between you and him and for Ukraine policy. It is clear as day. And while he wasn't earning $50,000 a month, he was falling asleep. Crack pipe in mouth, taking a little snooze. So, what are we left with here? The mainstream media is very skeptical of the authenticity of these emails. Washington Post issued a statement saying that they do not report on leaked or hacked materials. Of course not. They have journalistic standards, the Washington Post. I believe the Washington Post is currently in a lawsuit with Nick Sandmann, who settled, or maybe they settled, who they defamed him as, remember that whole thing, the Covington Catholic kids? Washington Post has really high standards, guys. They're not, they can't stoop to this level. We've got, if you see the journalists all over Twitter, these emails, all this stuff is unverified. Well, you can verify it, right? Isn't that your job as a journalist, to go out there and verify things? I think emails are pretty easy to verify. I think they are. You can check some of the headers and some of the details within the email to find out if they're legit. This picture, this certainly looks like Hunter Biden. We know we know Hunter Biden has a problem with crack. This appears to be a crack pipe, or maybe if it's not crack, it's meth. It's one of the two. And if this is a still shot from a video or something like that, well then, it's pretty easy to verify. Now, the other line of attack is, well, there's no evidence that this meeting with Joe Biden ever took place. That's true. So how about you get up off your journalistic ass and find out if the meeting ever took place? How about you ask Vice President Joe Biden if the meeting ever took place? How about you investigate the logs, the meetings, anything related to this guy, whether or not the meeting took place? Or we can just stop asking questions now because, this is unverified. So, I guess we're done, right? You don't want to verify it. You don't want to ask questions, the Biden campaign, about any of this stuff. How about very simply Joe Biden, next time he appears in public, whatever the hell that is, if he decides to take a question that hasn't been pre-screened and without a teleprompter for him to read his answer. Vice President Biden, what do you think of a picture with your son asleep with a crack pipe in his mouth? How about that? Let's start there. Let's try that. And, you know, it really is something for the mainstream media, their reaction. It's because they're cheerleaders. They're Democrat operatives, basically. And that's why we're here, to cut through that BS and to show an alternative voice and to have these conversations that the mainstream media just basically ignores or tries to put down. Now, the high horse here for the mainstream media, well, you know, we don't want to publish this. It's unverified. Really? How about all the stuff that was all over the mainstream media about Trump and Russia? It was widely reported in the media that President Trump went to a hotel in Moscow, urinated on the bed. And not only that, there are tapes, PP tapes, as is popularly called, of President Trump doing this. Those tapes exist. And perhaps that's why President Trump does the bidding of Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin has all this stuff on Donald Trump, even the PP tapes, and if they were ever to see the light of day, so that's why Trump is the President Putin's puppet. This went on for how long? Unsubstantiated, salacious crap. Mainstream media was totally fine to publish it. But this, no. We got to verify. Well, we're not going to verify it, but we're just going to leave it in that unverified state. We're not going to determine whether or not it's true. We're not going to ask Joe Biden about it. We're not going to ask Joe Biden if this meeting ever took place. We're not going to investigate it any further. We're not going to simply ask the very basic, obvious question, which is, what's the deal with your son falling asleep with a crack pipe in his mouth? No, can't be bothered to do that. As we're sitting here during the Supreme Court hearings, with Judge Amy Coney Barrett, we're reminded of Brett Kavanaugh. The mainstream media, who just proclaimed that they don't want to publish anything unverified, anything like that, published the most wild accusations about Brett Kavanaugh. That he was a gang rapist, that he drugged women, engaged in some devil's triangle nonsense, went through his yearbook and gave even more wild speculation to the little caption under his picture, I forget what you call it, that this was some secret code, that he was involved in some sex rape ring cabal. Totally unverified, totally nonsensical, elevating these women accusers who their stories were ridiculous and absurd. And the mainstream media ran with it. And we know why. We know exactly why. They don't care about the truth or anything in the way, well, they care about the truth so much as it helps their side. And that's it. That's all it is. So what's going to come of this? I don't know. We have a completely disinterested media. Any accusations leveled, if the president talks about this, well, they're just going to impeach him or something. I don't know. Why is Hunter Biden being protected? Well, we know. And it's all a setup. Everything is fake. We're in an information war against the mainstream media. You know, it's not even the mainstream media, the media in general, cable news, you know, and I'm going to include Fox on this too. The media is the problem in this country. The media is the problem. And if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you might think it's the other party. Or if you're an independent and you hate both of them, love you. I agree. I understand. The political parties are not the problem. The media is the problem in this country. They are the absolute worst. They stoke up fear, division, all in the wrong places. Look what we saw over the summer. I mean, whipping people up into a frenzy. And thankfully, a lot of that has died down. And it doesn't have anything to do with, whether, you know, thinking of George Floyd in particular. You know, many people can agree on the circumstances around that case. But the media whips people up. It lies to them. It distorts the truth. Remember this? Remember this thing? This is perfect. This is exactly what the media does. And here we are. They amplify the stupidity for the people they deem to be bad, and they downplay this stuff that we're seeing here with Hunter Biden. Will this even go anywhere? I don't know. It's a pretty big damn story. Will it disappear tomorrow? Maybe. It might. Tomorrow we were supposed to have the second vice presidential debate. Trump gets COVID, gets through COVID. The debate commission says it's going to be virtual. So Trump says, well, I'm not doing that. So it's canceled. What else? Why? Trump's clear now. He's healthy. Here he is today. Today was going to be tomorrow rather, was going to be the debate. Trump gets report after report from his doctors. He's not shedding the virus. Hasn't had a fever. He's basically cured. We played that video yesterday of him at his rally in Sanford, Florida, dancing to YMCA. Trump is back. Now many in the media were rooting for his death, of course. And when they weren't rooting for his death, they wanted him to be hidden at Walter Reed, quarantined, shut down for 14 days. No talking. So that they can do wild speculation about his condition. Oh, Trump's got this. He's got that. When Trump comes out, takes things in control, takes control of the message on his own, starts putting out these videos, and then, well, crap. Well, we couldn't shut him down. Well, now we're going to speculate that he's on drugs and he's crazy and he's not in his right mind. Nancy Pelosi comes out, the 25th Amendment nonsense, and the media laps it up. It's not just Nancy Pelosi announcing this 25th Amendment commission garbage. It's the media that amplifies it. That's the problem. It's giving stupidity a voice. And so here we are. So that's tomorrow. So are we just going to focus on that? Is this Hunter Biden story just going to die on the vine? Maybe. We know the mainstream media wants it to die on the vine. They want to kill it. So that's what we're left with. And the real question is, will something like this get out to enough voters? And, Biden has a troubled son. That's clear. That's very clear. And it doesn't, and that can bring some embarrassment on the family. But that's the life he chose, right? And you don't have the luxury of keeping this private as much as the media will want to do so. We're going to have to answer this. What's going on with Hunter, Joe? What happened with Hunter? Why was he on that board? Why is he pictured with a crack pipe in his mouth, fast asleep? And if and when you become president, Joe, will Hunter Biden have a role anywhere? What's he going to do? I'd like to know. And what was Hunter doing in Ukraine? Surely somebody, journalist out there, looking to break a good story, you can dig into this. You can verify these emails. You can verify all this. Find out if there was ever a meeting with Biden. Do your job. That's the last word here. If you're watching here on Facebook, please hit the like button, share this video to your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, also hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to get more content like this. And then, of course, head on over to informedamerican.com where you can get real smart news. Thanks for watching.